All right, y'all, Mark here. So I've been here just researching, studying all morning. It's Saturday. It's about 4 o'clock. And I've been sitting here since about 10, 11 this morning. And I plan to stay here the whole entire evening, day, night, whatever. So uh, my computer just jammed on me. You can see it just kind of, I turned it off for a second so that it could just kind of get a break, right? I think it's overheating. But anyway, uh, I want to talk to you guys real quick about something that I am currently, researching and studying, which is the Schrodinger's equation. And I'm not going to get uh, too deep into that because it's very complex and it takes a very long time to explain and break down. So what I want to do though is just kind of like touch on some of the takeaways and the practical applications of the Schrodinger's equation. And that has to do, just to give you a backdrop, if you don't know, it's about finding the probability of finding a particle at a given time, at a given, in terms of time and location, right? So it's the probability, not, it doesn't predict that you would find the particle, but it gives you the probability of whether you would locate that particle at a given time, uh, at a given position, which is location. So it's the probability of finding the particle at a given time, again, and at a given location. And that probability is based off a variety of things. And like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I want to say I want to share with you something that's been revealed to me from this. And it's what's called the interference pattern. The interference pattern is based off an experiment. Again, not going to go too deep into this stuff because it would take me an entire week, if not days, to explain. Forget about hours and minutes. This thing would it's just very complex stuff. But the what I take in or gathered from the interference pattern is very powerful on how that law or those findings or those discoveries govern our real world, our classical physical world, right? Because all these discoveries are done on a quantum level, right? So they study the quantum realm, and the quantum realm is what dictates our classical or physical realm. So having a good, solid grasp and understanding of that quantum realm and how the operations and functions are are governed or conducted, we can learn how the motivations behind our behaviors and what inspires us, what influences us, and why we do what we do, why we behave the way we behave, based off initial conditions, parameters, parameters and values, and so on and so forth. That's in our environments or in our systems or within ourselves, our body, because we ourselves is a system. So the interference pattern though is what I really want to kind of like touch on real quick. And they just found out that energy behaves as a wave, right? Prior to quantum mechanics, classical physics, which is Newtonian physics, or Newtonian physics, right? Classical mechanics always, they were the world. They believed the world was solid, right? Fundamentally, fundamental particles were solid, right? Obviously, they found out that it wasn't, right? And this turned the community upside down at that time. That energy, matter behaved as a wave, not as a particle, not as a solid, but rather a wave which is fluid and liquid, meaning the world, our broader world, is malleable, right? And the interference pattern is so important because what they found out is when this wave or when this energy is not under observation, it behaved as a wave. And they had a double slit experiment where the energy is passed through two openings, and on the other side of those openings, they would interfere with each other. The waves would interfere with each other, creating a wave-like pattern. And I thought that was interesting because, like I said, you have to know how to read between the lines, so to speak, or how to interpret it in a practical way. And the practical way I interpret that is that if there's no observation, now this is what they noted. If there's no observation, energy behaves in an interfering type of, it has an interference pattern, right? Which means it combines, it interferes, energy interferes with energy, and depending on the nature of the energy, good or bad, it will either reinforce or it will cancel each other out. So it will either cancel each other out or it will reinforce its amplitude. So it's just very interesting stuff, because now you understand why people will interfere with your relationships, why people will interfere with your business endeavors, why the world interferes with the world, why there's so much chaos and confusion in the world. It's because of this interference pattern. And when there's no observation in terms of physics simply means consciousness, a conscious observer. When there's no consciousness, there is interference. But when there's consciousness, which is an observer, there is no interference. Energy behaves in discrete matter, means it solidifies and becomes unique and individual. So what that means, if you increase your consciousness, there's less interference in your life. If you decrease your consciousness, there's more interference. Now, my phone right here is letting me know time is up. I've been recording so much, so I'm gonna have to end it there. Till next time, peace. Hope that was something useful. Peace.